Hello and welcome to Rauta's Reviews. This time we have a real hybrid here for review. This one is the Flight of Sleipnir. Sleipnir being the eight-legged horse of Odin, legendary by these Nordic myths. This one, however, is not from Norway nor even Iceland. This one is from United States of America and has already been there quite some time, releasing quite a few albums. And why this one is sort of a hybrid is a kind of a hard question, because it depends who are you really asking. Now this CD, nice looking digipack, comes with a poster kind of a lyric sheet, so instead of a booklet, the lyrics are here nicely laid out, and of course, indeed, on the other side of the poster, you will see this actual poster. Instead of lyrics and all that stuff, all is pretty much kind of a grayish, blackish colors, plus this rather grayish blue. Theme of the day, indeed. Here we have on Metal Archives this curious Colorado-based band, which was founded around 2007, and since then, indeed, quite a few albums. 7, if I don't do the counting wrong, and this one is the last one, called Eventide from 2021. Now, let's first take a look on this genre definition by Metal Archives. It says stoner slash doom slash folk metal. Now, if you let that sink a little bit, you will understand that this isn't exactly the most simple of genres to begin with. Then when you add this combination quite a bit of black metal, it gets more confusing, and by that I will use this as my evidence. Take a look at this similar artist tab here, and you will find bands such as Agalloch and Primordial, both which are labeled as black metal bands. Well, Celtic folk plus black metal for Primordial, and folk doom black metal for Agalloch. And then there's plenty of other bands which are either doom or stoner or both, etc. So it gets rather complicated. Which kind of a band this is actually? That's what we're trying to find out here for Eventide. This album runs for some 44 minutes, so roughly 3/4 of an hour, with some 6 rather lengthy but not exactly doom lengthy tracks. This could be described as atmospheric post-black metal, and it wouldn't really go that far from the truth, or whatever objective, subjective truth you might have for the genres. First of all, let's tackle the question about doom. Yes, this is mostly slow tempo, or at best kind of a mid-tempo release, and that's actually where I think this doom metal label comes into play. So, not really fast or energetic playing, but more on the atmospheric side with doomish tempo. But does it really sound like a real doom band? I mean, getting even slower than just mid-tempo? Not really. So I would use the doom here in quotation marks. About the stoner thing, yes, there are definitely parts where it can really resonate a little bit with the kind of a stoner thing, but I think it's more about certain riffs meeting certain kind of a production, which is something that you could actually use about post-black metal bands. So it's kind of a organic sound, which is then again not really super polished or super heavy, nor the kind of a raw end which you might encounter with black metal thing. Calling this a stoner is really far-fetched. I mean, you're really stretching the genres to begin with if you're gonna go that far. So using doom or stoner to describe this album, I think it's quite a stretch. But feel free if you think that resonates with you. More about the folk metal side. That is getting closer, but not exactly that either. I mean, of course it depends which kind of a band you're talking about. Comparing this to Agalloch and Primordial are getting closer, especially Agalloch part, so I definitely agree with that one. But that kind of proves the point. This is not of a simple genre that you can just live with, but calling stoner or doom are, I think, misleading. Atmospheric black metallic sound is definitely closer to what it is, especially when the vocals are exactly kind of a tightened up black metal screaminess, kind of a typical black metal vocals if you really ask me. Not the worst, not the best kind, but just doing their job just fine. And what about the riffs then? Well, there are certainly a lot of melodies there. There are lots of riffs that could be very well go into post-metal genre or even flirting with a little bit of that stonery idea. But once again, this depends to which kind of a bands you associate this overall sound with. But atmospheric is the adjective I would really use to describe the overall feeling here. Then whether we're talking about the melodic black metal parts, which are definitely there, is another question. And of course those black metallic vocals. So having a lot of different elements from various genres is something that Flight of Sleipnir is actually doing. And that makes this rather interesting because it's not just some copycat band nor with a copycat album, but more like, yeah, I hear familiar parts here and there, but nothing is actually pointing to a certain given one genre, but, multitude of them. But comparing this to a catalog should be giving you a little bit of a proper hint what this album is all about. Now the question is, of course, is this any good? And the answer depends once again on the audience of a given genre or fan of a given genre more than that. Yes and no. I would say if you're looking for some kind of a comfort or solace in atmospheric and melodic metal, which is, I guess, kind of a pagan metal thing with this one as well, considering it's taking the theme, or at least the name, from Nordic god myths, etc. and all that stuff, yes, then it would be good. If you really enjoy the kind of songs that are not dependent on certain killer riffs or memorable chorus parts and all that stuff, and you do enjoy the kind of a post-metallic atmosphere, yes, Eventide is definitely a good album. Then again, if you're really more riff-driven, I was not going to say driven, if you're riff-driven and you expect some kind of a memorability instead of just enjoying the overall atmosphere, and you really like your songs to be very focused and more compact in essence, then this is not so much, because this is the kind of album that very much goes into the background, where it kind of seeps all over with this nice and enjoyable atmosphere, but coming into single individual songs with individual riffs where it really nails it, not so much. So I'm kind of divided. On the other hand, I like the atmosphere. On the other hand, I would have enjoyed this more if it was more about those killer riffs and interesting chorus parts and stuff like that, rather than be just post-metallic all over the place. Production-wise, solid. Can't really complain about the vocals either. So this totally depends on which kind of genre fanatic or fan base you're coming from, and as such, kind of a hard cookie to crack, really. But give it a chance and you will find out. This album has been already released in 2021, just late to the party in terms of reviews, but music never gets old, does it? So give it a go, or give it not, up to you. Take care and see you soon with more reviews coming your way.